Hey y'all. Happy 2025. This is your host, Nikki Buchanan, and you are listening to the How to Be Magical podcast. This is our first episode of 2025. When we last left off, I believe our last episode was in October or November. So it's been a while. And we have a lot to cover in this episode. And I wrote notes, and I'm going to try to keep everything as concise as possible. But I just want to let y'all know, I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, actually like 3:30 in the morning. I could not sleep. I've been mulling over this episode for the past couple of days, and then just given everything that's happened over the weekend, everything that's happened, since the inauguration, all of these things, I was like, okay, I started to just get ringing in my ear and twitching in my eye, and it was just like all of the things. It's like, girl, you need to say something, and I'm just like, but what am I gonna say? Like, there's so much to cover. I don't want to be like rambling. I don't want to be this person, right? So title of this episode is Liberation Starts at Home. I'm going to try and tie everything together. I want to try to make this episode as concise as possible. I want to give as much information as possible. I want to give as much perspective as possible. We have a problem, right? And I think that now it's out in the open. I feel like people can finally start to be real with themselves, with their family members, with whoever, about what the problems are. However, I'm just going to speak on my experience, the things that I've been going through, and try to help other people connect their own dots. Because I'm not here to tell you what to think or what to do. Truly, I'm not. I'm just trying to show this is the way I live. This is how I got here. Maybe you could take something from it. Maybe it could help you, right? Because we all on our own journey. I feel you on all of that. But I think that now we're at a point where this is the time for people to start to walk in what they truly believe in, and not what they say they believe in, not what they, not what aesthetic they like. I'm talking about what you truly stand for, what your values really are. Because again, if you've been an OG listener of the podcast, you know that one of the very first episodes that we did was called Get in Your Section. And that was in 2020. That was 5 years ago. All right. 5 years ago, I did Get in Your Section, probably around the same time that I'm doing this episode right now. And it was literally call to action for people to be like, figure out what side of the line you on. Okay. Figure out where you belong. And don't waver. God help me. This episode, I'm trying to keep all of this shit together. Okay, excuse my French. There's gonna be a lot of disclaimer. There's gonna be a lot of profanity. So if you're a person who don't like cussing, watch something else. I'm so sorry. Listen to something else. I'm so sorry, because I'm a cuss, because there's gonna be some parts of this conversation that get really hot and get me really upset, and it might not even be me all the way. So I'm just apologizing in advance, because you might see me get taken off to a different place, and then just understand that that's one of these folk in here that wants to have something to say, and I'm the mouthpiece, right? Damn, what are we gonna cover? So many things. The TikTok man, Zhao Hongshu, Pluto and Aquarius, the end of birthright citizenship, the 92%. Harriet would have shot him. Okay, let's get started. All right. So first off, the TikTok man. I feel like the TikTok man directly coincides with Pluto and Aquarius, right? So I'm not an astrologer. I'm gonna link some reputable people, some people that I fucks with. At the end of this episode is gonna be a nice reference sheet of people that I rocks with, right? People that I trust, people that I look to for information and all that stuff, scholars, all this stuff, right? But Pluto and Aquarius, historically has always led to a shift of people being more about what's best for the collective, about liberation, about freedom, about revolution, right? The last time that Pluto was in Aquarius, we had the American Revolution, the Haitian Revolution, the French Revolution, the Industrial Revolution, right? Excuse me. All very pivotal parts of world history. We're not even talking about the history of the country. We're talking about world history. The French Revolution, world history, right? Let them eat cake, all that stuff. Like, that's big. The Haitian Revolution, for my spiritual people, understand that there are some stuff, that we have been called to do. And truly, this is something that I've seen that spreads across the diaspora, across belief systems. It is always the ones who don't, like, people that get called that really don't want it, that be the ones that have to do it, right? So, and then it's always, on the flip side, it's always the people that want it so gung-ho, y'all not equipped for it, right? So again, I'm begging people, all right? The Haitian Revolution is directly responsible for the liberation, okay, of Everybody in the Western Hemisphere. Let's keep it a stack. Let's keep it a stack. They were the first free Black republic in the time of slavery. Okay? The first people to emancipate themselves with the use of their indigenous religious practices, with the use of Vodun. Okay? Big ups to Mambo Cecile Fatiman. Okay? Because it was under her guidance that they slaughtered that pig and did what they need to do to the French. And they still paying for it. So I hope y'all really understand that Haiti did that. Okay? And everything that's happening now in the United States, and people demonizing Haitian people, talking about they eat cat, and all the type of nonsense that's going on, right? I need people to fully understand that those was the first people that say, you know what? I'm going to stand up and do something. And it is directly because of the Haitian Revolution that anti-obia laws and anti-drum laws got on the books. Okay? Because they understood if these people are connected to their traditional spiritual practices from where we took them from, oh yeah, they could fuck some shit up. This is a problem. To this day, in Jamaica, in Barbados, in a lot of places, anti-obia legislation is still on the law, on the books. And in this case, obia is referring to anything that is not Christian, right? So I need people to understand that we're talking about laws that are still on the books to this day, right? Even in America, it looks slightly different, right? We have just moved into a very openly Christio-fascist regime in America, okay? We just had, literally, I don't know who voted for Elon Musk. We did not vote for him, okay? We didn't even vote against him. We didn't vote for him at all. He wasn't on the ticket. He wasn't on the ballot. Yet somehow he gets up there and he's doing a Nazi salute. He's doing a Hail Hitler. And people are explaining it in a way, talking about he did a Roman salute. Let me tell you what's really happening here. And this is something that I'm realizing about myself that I'm never going to apologize for. And I'm realizing that a lot of us need to be more in the paint when it comes to these types of things, right? This concept of meeting open hostility and ignorance with peace and understanding is going to get us killed. Do you understand? Y'all going to peace and love and light and peace and blessings your way back into the fucking plantation. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all don't understand how significant it is when we got somebody who we did not vote for, who's sitting up in the front of the whole world doing something that's illegal in other countries. Okay, Austria and Germany clutched their pearls, as they should have, because they was like, yo, we actually did a lot to not be back here. How did we get back here? Right? But again, if you're not following history, okay, if you're not following history, then you're not understanding how all of these things is connected. Nazi Germany, the Nuremberg laws were influenced very, very greatly by Jim Crow, okay, and America. Germans came over here and said, ooh, I like how y'all got this set up over here with these distinctions, and you know who's black, who's white, and taking it all the way down to the eighth of a one. You got one great grandparent that's black, you're black, right? The one drop rule, like all of these things come into play, right? And they took it back to Germany and they said, you know, that's actually a little too strict, because if we go by that, then everybody technically is a Jew, and we can't have that. We actually need something that could keep people in line. And they came up with the Nuremberg laws, right? Now, again, I'm not saying Germany's a perfect country. I'm saying no country's perfect. But Germany actually atoned for the things that they did, right? Not fully, and I'm not going to go into all of that right now, but I'm talking about in terms of what they allowed in their country after World War II is very indicative of how they was able to have some type of peace and progress, right? And when it comes down to the United States has never atoned for the blood that was shed on this land, whether it's the indigenous people, okay, the original people that the colonists encountered here. They didn't atone for the Trail of Tears. They didn't atone for the boilerplate treaties. They didn't atone for putting people on reservations. They didn't atone for none of that shit. And then on top of that, they brought over millions of African people, okay, who weren't African at the time. We was just people. We didn't even know. Africa didn't exist. The name Africa was not a name, right? They brought us over here. They made a couple of stops in the Caribbean and in South America. They came up here, right? And they inflicted pure terror on us since we got here. Since we got to this country, since we was brought to this country, they have continuously inflicted pain and horrific atrocities against us. They have never atoned for that. Never, never, never. There's not been a dollar put. There's not been anytime we had our own town, they want to burn it down or flood it or put a highway through it, right? If you think about what actually creates America, it is built on the bones of indigenous people, the blood of African people, and the lie of American exceptionalism and white supremacy, right? So when you see how this last election went, right? When people talk about the 92%, and we're talking about, well, we know how people voted and all these things, and people are so confused. Well, why would they? America's been selling white supremacy since its inception, okay? Whiteness did not exist until they created it here. There was no such thing as white, all right? You had money or you didn't. They needed a reason to get their numbers up and incorporated the poor white working class, the indentured servants, and sold them whiteness. Said, listen, we can't give you no money. We're not giving you no money, but we'll let you be white with us. We're white. You're white. So that gets you something. And what did they get you? They got you a little bit of privilege. They maybe gave you a gun and a badge and let you form a slave patrol. Maybe let you be an overseer, right? They let you be the bottom rung of what they consider to be the upper echelon of humanity and all this shit, which is whiteness and white maleness, right? They gave people that, and that is what people have been holding on to this whole time. So when people are like, oh my gosh, how the hell could we have gotten Donald Trump back? Baby, that's how we got it back. Because these people don't have nothing but whiteness. However, when we talk about black folk, and I'm talking about black people in America, right? Which, again, this is going to be a very nuanced conversation because I'm Black American. My father is Jamaican. I'm a first generation on his side. I'm a fifth generation New Yorker on my mother's side. My family, on my mother's side, been here since we've been here, right? Like, family been in Brooklyn for 100 years, okay? So there's certain things that black folks carry with us that have allowed us to survive these horrific times. And I want everybody to remember that we still have that. Whether or not you've acknowledged that you got ancestors that walk with you and spirits that walk with you and all this stuff, now is not the time. Again, if you're scared, go to church. Go back to church. I'm not here to demonize the people that's going back to church. Some of y'all need to go back to church because y'all not cut out for it. Y'all not built for this life. And when I say this life, I'm talking about making sure you have a place for the ancestors in your home, acknowledging them every day, walking with the knowledge that you have everybody that goes all the way back, right? And when we talking about, people get like, oh, I want to do, what can I do for spiritual protection and this and the third and la la la. Where's your ancestors' corner in the house? Where is it? When the last time you cooked food for them people? When the last time you put a little water? When the last time you put a candle? When the last time you bought them their liquor or whatever? When is the last time you did something for the dead? Those are the ones that we need to call on right now, because people love to sit up and be like, oh, we not our ancestors, la, la, la. Please don't disrespect them folk like that, because them people had significantly less than us materially, and they had more gumption, more grit, more heart than a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all can't even call y'all own family members stupid to their face. Y'all can't even cut them off. Y'all can't even be like, I can't associate it with you, because understand and realize that, again, like I realized this a couple of years ago when I was arguing with people about the stupid shit that Kanye West was saying and other people. Kanye West sat up there and said, oh, slavery was a choice, and there was some of y'all coons that rode with him. I was calling y'all coons to y'all face. I was telling y'all that Kanye West sounds smart to people that don't read. I was meeting head on, because I'm not here to sit up there and be like, well, maybe no, because that's dangerous rhetoric. Okay. And I think it's time, like right now, people talking about, oh, this man did a Nazi salute in public. Yeah. Again, are we punching Nazis or nah? Right? Is we burning down plantations or nah? Are we burning down the slave master's house or nah? Are we sabotaging the tools that the master is giving us or nah? Are we seizing the means of production or nah? Right? Like, now I'm talking, they probably got me to listen with for just this little 15 minutes. And then, you know what? Again, Are you willing to truly stand for what you believe in? What do you believe in? Who the fuck are you, really? Who are you as a person, right? And I'm saying all of this because I'm like, I understand it's not easy, and I'm not trying to trivialize anybody's experience, and I'm not trying to make anybody feel like they not this and the third, but I'm just trying to, I have to say things in a certain way because I'm tired of tap dancing around shit that is real. Fascism is here. It's here. There is no weaseling out of this, y'all. We got to deal with this. This is real. This is a real thing that's happening right now. How are we going to combat it? Like I said, they trying to make this be, make this country into God first, Christian, America, this, that, and the third. Excuse me. We already know where that led to. We already know what the Bible people did in the name of Christ, in the name of Jesus, and all this stuff did to people that look like us and other brown and copper skinned people. What they did to those people in the name of Christ. They're going to do it again. They're going to do it again. They're doing it again. They're ready to cut your public schools so that way they could force you to send your kids to some private Christian school and indoctrinate them with a bunch of nonsense. Okay? Now, again, it's hard to indoctrinate people who have knowledge of self and know who they are. That's why they don't want us to speak our languages. That's why they don't want us to practice our religions. That's why they don't want us to keep our cultural customs. Because part of Americanness means that you give that up in order to be a part. However, as Black people, and let's keep it a stat, there is nothing that Black people, we cannot give up enough to not be seen as Black here, right? So again, when you got the Coons tap dancing at the inauguration, you got Snoop Dogg, you got Nelly, you got, who else was there? Rick Ross and Soulja Boy, right? You got these shoe shining, tap dancing Sambos, right? Getting up there telling you, worship money with me, and look, you could tap dance for the elite. Do not allow yourself to be pulled into this sense of, if I have enough money, I can ascend, right? I could transcend race. Believe that if you want. Believe that. We know, we seen how they did Oprah overseas when she tried to go to Hermes and get that bag. They was like, who is this? Again, anti-Blackness is global. Okay. And I'm saying this because there's also a lot of talk of people being like, y'all gotta leave the country, y'all gotta leave, and this and that and third, and birthright citizenship, they're gonna end birthright citizenship, and they're gonna round up Black people. Let me tell you something. That's not something I worry about. And I'm only saying that because if we truly cared about that, again, why am I going to be why am I more concerned? How do I put this without sounding crazy? Because it's just like, I'm trying to put my words together about this, because I've seen so much conversation about this, and I'm trying to get people to understand, like, yo, when you're Black in America, you're Black in America, right? You're Black in America. You understand, you know what that is. On some level, you know what it is. It's other people that come here and they want to use the ethnic thing, and they want to say, I'm from this country, not realizing that they're Black in America, right? I know that historically they have always tried to get Black people, American descendants of slavery and American descendants of chattel slavery, foundational Black Americans, if you will, right? I have a lot of beef with those two groups of ideologies, but for the sake of this argument, I'm going to just let it ride because I don't have time to argue about everything right now. We understood that we're Black here, and that means something. And that also means we're excluded from things. So there was a benefit in us coming together because we realized that we were being excluded. The same way how Black Cubans came in the 40s and 50s, the 30s, 40s, and 50s to Florida and the South and New York, and they blended in with those big bands, right? I feel like the same thing is going to happen again, right? Because again, until people address the anti-Blackness in their communities, we're going to have a problem. We're going to have a problem here. We're going to have a serious problem here, right? There's too many people that came here, voted for Donald Trump, thought that they were getting something close enough to whiteness that was going to shield them from something, didn't realize you may be considered white back home, but in America, you're not considered white. America is very strict about who gets to be considered white and who's not. And a lot of people don't like that. And I feel like a lot of people buy what America is selling, which is whiteness and white supremacy, because it feels good. It sounds nice. It makes sense in your twisted warped brain, even though you don't know nothing about history, even though you ain't read nothing, even though, like I said, you white back home. You came here and you figured, oh, I'm not like those black people, so I should be okay. Okay. Good luck with that. Truly. Good luck with that. So now that there's a lot of talk online of people in the 92%, if you voted in the last election, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to sit here and do all of this. The 92% is saying, well, you know what? I'm really not getting involved. I'm gonna sit this one out. I'm not marching. I'm not doing. I got to conserve my energy. Folks are mad, and I think that again, people need to understand that the trope of the mammy, the trope of Sambo, the trope of the Jezebel, like this is all white supremacist imagination, ideology, right? This concept that when you see a black woman, specifically a bigger black woman, especially a darker black woman, she's supposed to be there and she's supposed to give you a shoulder to cry on, and she's supposed to hug you, and she's supposed to make you feel good, and she's supposed to do it. Yeah, honey, that's racist. And again, I feel like that we have to start being honest with ourselves, that we have to start unpacking our anti-blackness, whether it's within ourselves, whether it's within our communities, whether it's within what we're asking our ancestors to do and protect us from, right? Because if you're not willing to unpack certain things, spiritually, you're not going to develop the way where you're supposed to go, right? So a lot of folks have matriarchal ancestral spirits that they need to be working with. Because why? Because those was the big mamas that got shit done. But you don't want to listen to Big Mama. You don't want to listen to Big Mama now. You damn sure ain't trying to listen to Big Mama from 200 years ago. You don't want to hear what she got to say. And you have to ask yourself why that is. Again, I'm seeing people talk about, oh, all of that ancestor stuff and, demons and this, that, and the third. White supremacy is a demon, is a demonic entity. And it needs you to believe in it. It feeds off your fear. It feeds off your ignorance. It feeds off your silence, right? Because when you don't say nothing and you just say, well, that's just the way it is, that's just the status quo, it gets more emboldened. And that's how you get people like Elon Musk doing a Nazi salute in front of everybody in the world and then trying to gaslight us and tell us that that's not what we saw. That's how you get that, right? So again, I feel like, the old heads used to say, tell the truth, shame the devil, because you have to say things. You have to put light on shit. You have to illuminate things in order to let it air out, let it breathe. Okay? Again, if your convictions can stand in the sun and bear the weight of sunshine, gravity, and all that stuff, then you have nothing to worry about. But I'm talking about your conviction, I'm talking about your character. If you cannot open up and be honest about what you truly believe in and how your motivations and all that stuff, you're gonna have a hard time during this next shift. Because truth be told, you need to be as honest as possible about who you are and what you are about and all that shit in order for you to be rightfully aligned with where you're supposed to be going and who you're supposed to be with. Some of y'all are not ready to fully step in, and I get that. It's scary. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like it's not scary. But some of y'all are ready, and I'm here to push you, just give you a little nudge off the cliff. Like, please just go. Just let it go, right? Some of y'all are so close to liberation that it scares you, because you know that once you cross a certain threshold, you can't come back, right? I feel like that's what happened with the TikTok ban and people going over to Zhao Hongshu. Zhao Hongshu is Little Red Book, Red Note, as it's being colloquially called on TikTok, the Chinese TikTok, right? Because TikTok's banned in China. So people went over to Zhao Hongshu, seen how the Chinese folk was living, and got angry. And was like, wait a cotton picking minute. How much is the vegetables over there? They live in what their apartments look like, what their house look like, what their cars look like. What? And the Chinese people were equally gagged and gooped by us because they was like, wait a minute, do y'all really have to work 2 jobs? We thought that was just like a turn of phrase. We didn't realize that y'all really was working. Y'all really working 2 jobs? What you mean? You got people that's homeless. Why are they? What do you mean homeless? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you still pay tax on your house after you bought it? Ain't that your house? What's a collection agency? These people are very confused about American life, right? Again, because America sells American exceptionalism. And what a lot of people know about America literally is just our biggest export, which is media. I'm saying this as somebody that worked in the TV business, right? And that's unpacking that whole reality and all of this shit, right? I'm talking about people that literally know what America is from movies, television, and music. And that's it. Not realizing that is not how the average American lives. Okay, that is what America wants to promote as, oh, this is our greatest, highest ideal. This is what everyone's aspiring to. Yeah, but most people ain't gonna get that. A lot of people in my generation are realizing, listen, I probably would never own a house. I do not have that type of funds. We got student loans up to your freaking eyeballs. You got groceries that's like astronomical, that's got you looking crazy, having sticker shock, making life decisions in the grocery store. Right? And they said, well, we shut down TikTok because we care about national security. But do you really? Too many people are catching on. In the words of Bob Marley, you could fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time. So now you see the light. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights, right? There are also people saying, well, you know what? Y'all bought into the anti-American, this, that, and the third, and, you know, y'all turn it against America, and, you know, y'all do, yeah, I at least get to speak my mind and speak out against the government, and this, and the third. And then some Chinese person literally said, and y'all speak out against the government, and what has that gotten y'all? I'm waiting with them. Because again, this illusion of if we march, if we peacefully protest, if we do all this stuff, shit's gonna change. I hope y'all realize that. Have y'all caught on yet that that's not what America don't give a fuck if you peacefully protest. First of all, they're gonna shoot you whether you protest peacefully or not peacefully, so you might as well fuck some shit up on the way, right? But the only thing that America respects is the money. You fuck with the money, okay? Some shit gets changed around, right? Fuck with the money. People start saying, well, maybe we should listen to these folk, right? Fuck with the money. People talk about the Montgomery bus boycott. Let me tell you something. The Montgomery bus boycott was only successful because they shut down the Montgomery bus system for a year. Black folks said, how about we're not taking the bus no more? We the ones that's taking the bus going to work. I'll walk. I'm a walk. And I'm a carpool. I might even ride a bike. But I'm not taking the bus. And it wasn't until the Montgomery bus line company was like, hey, we lost a lot of money. We're losing a lot of money. These people seem like they're going to keep it going. What can we do? That's when they integrated the bus lines. That's it. It was not the peaceful protests that got shit going. It was the financial protests. So again, people, I'm trying to have y'all understand, you do matter. Okay? And I'm realizing that, like, listen, I got an uncle that voted for Trump. He mad at me because I don't want to fuck with him no more. Right? Because again, you trying to siphon my energy. You trying to leech my energy. You want to sit up and talk about politics when my aunt already said, let's not talk about politics. Let's just not talk about it. And they still want it, right? These are the people who they've given up on life. They've given up on hope. They truly are out of their ragged ass mind. And again, people, it's a free country. You could be out your ragged mind. However, you don't get the right to have a community and relationship with me because you voted against everything that I stand for. You voted against my livelihood in this country. You voted against me as a person. So no, I don't want to eat dinner with you no more. And no, you're not welcome in my house. And no, I don't want to come to your house. And no, I don't really want to talk to you no more. There's nothing to talk about. People don't like that. Again, somehow this narrative that if you are not with the nonsense, you're supposed to just be okay with everything. No. Be comfortable with telling people you are well within your rights to believe that shit over there, away from me. Stop thinking somehow that this spiritual life is going to shield you from, having discord and disagreements with people. It is perfectly okay. And I will even say spiritually sound and healthy to tell people go fuck off. All right? Tell them go suck on the blood clot, mama. Say it with your chest. Open up that throat chakra, Stop holding shit in. Stop keeping the peace with people that are literally enacting violence against you. What the fuck are you getting out of that? And I'm saying this because we have a lot of ancestors behind us, okay? Who literally was like, I did not come here to be nobody's slave. I don't know who the fuck told you that, but I ain't no slave. They was fucking shit up. The types of resistance that our ancestors did, of course, it's not going to be fully documented because nobody wants to tell the truth that these people were so intelligent and so not even just resilient. These people were so anti, they was not down with none of this shit. They wasn't down with it, right? The fact that we even have certain cultural aspects preserved lets you know how serious these people was. These people was deep in the paint, right? When we talk about the hush harbors and Geechee people going out into the fucking woods and hanging up blankets soaked in water to dampen the sound so that they could do a ring shout and build up their energy, right? And we think about night watch services at church because they knew that the Klan was coming. And we all in this church together, and there's somebody at the front door with a shotgun, and somebody at the back door with a shotgun, and probably somebody on the roof with a shotgun. Like, if these motherfuckers come, we will pick them off, right? If y'all are not willing to die for your culture and die for who you are as a person, are you even living? And I'm gonna be real, are you truly living? I understand that a lot of people are not realizing how serious things are going to get and how quickly they're going to get. But I feel like the TikTok ban and the it being back up less than 12 hours later, all that shit, I feel like that really, that should be people's wake up call to be like, oh, they running a test, right? These are all little tests, right? We're talking about the red flags. We're talking about the boiling frog syndrome, about how, you can't just throw the frog in a pot of boiling water. You put it in the water and turn the fire on, and slowly, after a while, by the time the frog realized what's going on, you're cooked, right? I fear that some of us may be cooked, but I also feel like some of us, there is still time. There is still time, right? When people talk about community and what it means to be in community, community is about protection. Community is about understanding that what's best for your neighbor is also best for you, and that it's okay to be concerned about your neighbor. You want your neighbor to be concerned about you. And somehow America, again, like I said, American exceptionalism, hyper individualism, capitalism, all that stuff creates a situation where people feel like they're in competition with people rather than being in a community with people. And I need people to really think about that and be honest about that. That some people are not trying to be in community with you. They're trying to be in competition with you. Right? We seen it during the pandemic. When the government, was giving out stimulus, well, before they was giving out stimulus checks, when they was giving out the COVID money, right? And the pandemic funds, the pandemic relief and all that stuff, it kept people afloat. And there was a lot of people that was online that was mad. Oh, well, y'all getting all this money and this and the third and ah. And I was like, the fuck is wrong with y'all? Do you do realize it's better for everybody if your neighbor got food, right? And that if your neighbor has money to pay their bills and keep their life going and keep themselves afloat, it's good for you too. It works out. It's a net positive for everybody. Because if you're the only person in the building that's going out every day and getting money, and everybody else in the building don't have any money, how long do you think it's going to be before the people coming to your house taking your shit? Again, you're not thinking. You're not using all of your fucking brain cells. You're not using all of your smarts. Okay? Anybody that tells you that being concerned about your neighbor having groceries and access to healthcare and childcare and all that should make you a communist is somebody that truly is anti-human. I'm sorry. You're not human. You're not human. We have literally just witnessed the induction of the wealthiest group of people in human history. Right? And I feel like when we were chattel, when we was property, when we was 3/5 of a person and all that stuff, those people were super rich then too. And somehow we survived. So, I'm saying all this to say, where is your ancestor altar? Where is it? You ain't got to tell me. You ain't got to tell the collective. I just want to, ask. I just want to posit to the collective. Where is your ancestor altar? All those glasses clean. When the last time you gave the folks some rum? When the last time you cooked for the people? When is the last time you gave thanks? When's the last time you sat quietly and listened with your heart and with your spirit to what they were telling you to do? Okay? How tied to people, places, and things are you? How hard is it for you to walk in your truth? What would it take for you to feel confident enough to walk in your truth? What would it take for you to feel like you're in community with other people? Do you have community with other people? Like, these are the things that we need to be asking ourselves, because these folks are very clear about where they stand on shit. Where do you stand on shit? Right? If somebody does the Roman salute in your vicinity, what's your plan of action? Be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be so honest with y'all. I pray every day that I don't ever have to be in the vicinity of somebody that is dumb enough to do no shit like that, because I'm crashing out. Do a Hail Hitler around me and see if you're not getting the Flatbush fade. You understand? I will be very happy to do it. I'll catch that charge. Remember them old pictures we used to see when them folks are in the civil rights movement smiling in they in they mugshots? Are you prepared to go up against the establishment for what you truly believe? If you're not, be honest with yourself, okay? Be honest with yourself. But let's keep it a stack. How many people are truly feeling like, you know what? I've had enough. Some people ain't had enough. You gotta be like, again, this is all about us being honest with each other. Everything that we're seeing, yes, is upsetting, but this is a shock and awe portion of things. Why they shocking and on us? Why we oohing and on and clutching our pearls? They're signing all types of crazy shit into legislation. They already sold us off to Zuckerberg and Musk and whoever the fuck else with $1, right? They've done that. We can't sit up here and act like that's not what's happened, right? And also, shout out to Ben and Jerry's for being the real ones. When I was little, my mom took me to a function, fundraiser thing that they was doing in the city, or they was doing in Central Park. And for every letter that you wrote to the congressperson, they had like these different stations. They would give you a coupon to get a free Ben and Jerry's bar or whatever. So me and mommy went in there, racked up, right? But it was also very important. I was like maybe like 8, maybe I was 8 or 9. I was real young. And I remember being like, damn, Ben and Jerry's kind of radical, And Ben and Jerry's, they've held that for the past 30-something years. They've held that. So Ben and Jerry's been one of the few corporations that has openly been like, this is bullshit, this is fascism, we're not doing this, right? And I think that, when we see, I think that some people just get so like bogged down with like, oh my gosh, I just see like all of this shit is too much, it's too crazy, like I don't want to go out there and march, I don't want to this, I don't want to that. But I feel like it's not about marching, it's about taking like decisive action, right? So again, if you want to boycott something, if you want to be like, I'm not shopping at this place or I'm not supporting this, don't think that doesn't mean anything, right? It does mean something. I feel like it all starts with you feeling like what you do matters, and what your vibration and your intention in the world and how you show up in the world, it does matter. Like, we cannot fall into this nihilism of nothing matters, because I feel like that's like a real coward pussy way of taking shit, like to be like nothing matters, nothing isn't, like, all right, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Like, I'm sorry, like, it takes courage to have passion, it takes courage to have convictions, it takes courage to stand up for some shit, it takes courage to be like, that's wrong, I don't agree with that, that's inhumane. That takes courage. Any pussy behind a fucking computer or a fucking phone or anything like that can be like, nothing matters, it doesn't matter, nothing matters. Go suck on the mother, yo. For real. I don't like that. And I'm realizing that's why I have an issue with people who are just like, nothing matters. Like, take your nihilistic bullshit someplace else. And your nihilism. Take that shit somewhere else, bro. That shit don't have no place here. Truly. And it makes me think about, like, everybody loves to talk about Martin Luther King, but I'm on the Fannie Lou Hamer, Marcus Garvey, Harriet Tubman side of things, right? Like, Martin Luther King, again, he wanted to march in his suits, and that's his business, right? But Martin Luther King was hated in his time. The rebranding of Martin Luther King since his death and the martyring of Martin Luther King by white liberals and white America, is just like, I'm not doing this with y'all. They only want to do that because he was the safest one, right? They're not deifying Malcolm X, because Malcolm X was in y'all face with the shit. They're not deifying Marcus Garvey. They're not deifying. They wanted to put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. I don't know what happens to that. I'm glad they didn't, because it's like, we don't need that. Harriet Tubman would have shot some of you folk. I hope y'all know that, right? And again, ask yourself, would Harriet be proud of me in this moment? Okay. Harriet, like, we talking about a woman who was disabled, quote unquote, neurodivergent, quote unquote, right? Got hit in the head, suffered from epilepsy, seizures, was not a big woman, was a woman of small stature, but fierce, carried a shotgun. And I often wonder who was the first person she had to use that shotgun on. It was probably somebody like her brother or somebody that she was close to. And I know it hurt. She probably was like, damn, I really don't want to do this, but motherfucker, you about to jeopardize the whole operation. I can't have you running back and telling people where we going. I will shoot you right here. Are y'all willing to take that type of conviction with folks? Are you willing to tell people to their face, you're a fucking idiot? That's dumb. Instead of being like, well, maybe they just need to be educated. No, they're banking on you being pacifist. They're banking on you turning the other cheek. They're banking on you being nonviolent and non-confrontational. Sometimes you got to meet equal force with equal force. Like, I never forget the time I was at work and this black man was trying to sit up there and tell me that black people didn't come over on slave ships and he never seen slave ships, or the transatlantic slave trade never happened and all this stuff. And he was saying this shit in mixed company. And I remember trying to start off the conversation with like, sir, I don't really think we should talk about this right now. He just kept pushing it. And then finally I had to tell him straight up, I said, sir, I do not think you are intellectually capable of having this conversation with me. And I'm going to ask you to stop before I embarrass you, because you are somebody's father and I'm going to assume somebody's granddaddy. And I'm not trying to disrespect my elders, but sir, you're a fucking idiot. And that's the dumbest thing I ever fucking heard. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. And I don't have to do this with you. I was like, have you been down to the museum in DC, the African American History Museum? Have you been down to the Great Blacks and Wax Museum? Have you read a fucking book lately? Huh? You citing a YouTube video? I don't have to fucking talk to you. Again, stop playing nice with these people. You know how disrespectful it is to sit up here and tell somebody as dark as me that black people didn't come over on the boat? What? Again, I don't have to play nice with people who are being deliberately obtuse, racist, Holocaust deniers. I don't gotta do that shit with people. Y'all keep on trying to play nice with these people. Tell these people that they sound like a fucking idiot. Tell them they sound stupid. Say you're dumb. We've totally PC'd our way out of telling people that you're a dummy. You're a dummy, bitch. Like, tell people that they're stupid. Tell them that. I don't need no fancy fucking degree to tell nobody that they're out of their depth, right? I don't need that. I read books because I want to, not because I had to fulfill any requirements to get out of school or do anything like that, because I want to read about Black history and Black culture, because I'm a Black person who cares about my history and my culture. So it is important to me. It is a value to me. Could I truly sit in community with somebody who's sitting up there regurgitating white supremacist talking points and denying Black history with a straight? Can I really sit there and be like, well, we have differences of opinion, but I still love? Nah, fuck them. Actually, like, too many of y'all scared to say fuck them folks. Fuck them folks. I'm gonna say, I'll say it with me. Fuck them folks. Okay, it's okay to say fuck them. Y'all gonna keep the peace until back to the plantation, and I'm not doing that with y'all. I'm really not. I'm not. I don't have to do that shit with somebody else. Okay. Listen, I got a friend. Love her dearly. I don't even know if I can call her friend no more. We used to be friends. Love this woman down. But the last time that we talked, she was spouting white supremacist shit to me. I was like, oh my God. She was literally saying that Black people was cursed, and that's why all of the stuff that happened to us happens. I when I say it broke my heart, because I was like, girl, we too Black to talk like that. Why are you talking like this? But I'm realizing people want to make sense of shit. I get that. But girl, I can't rock with you. I can't rock with that. I can't rock with you. I can't rock with that. I don't support that. And I'm not talking about differences of opinion like I don't like to wear skirts. I'd rather wear pants. Bitch, I don't give a fuck. But you sitting here saying that me, people that look like me, people that look like us, we are cursed. And you sending me scripture from the Old Testament. Girl, I ain't never proselytized to you about none of the shit that I believe in. Please don't do that shit to me. And again, like I said, it's going to be a lot of this shit happening in the next couple of years. I see a lot of people right now talking about, oh, Trump, he's going to... Listen, you leave them coons on the side of the road where they fucking belong. Okay? If Harry would have shot them, please do not go back and forth with them. Do not give them your energy. Tell them, go over there to the Klan rally and see how they treat you over there. And when y'all get knocked upside the head, do not come back over here. Okay? Don't come back over here with fuckery. Please. We have to stop normalizing playing nice and being PC with literal Nazis and white supremacists. Stop it. Stop it. Because our ancestors knew, okay? They knew. They knew you better have to take a fucking stand about some shit now. Because when the shit get real, I'm not going to be sitting here having a theological, hypothetical debate with you. I'm going to shoot, stab, kill you, and I'm going to keep it fucking pushing. Because you're jeopardizing my liberation, okay? And that's why I say liberation starts at home. There's so many people who have come across over the years who've been like, girl, how'd you get to be so pro-black? And I really used to get offended by that. But now I'm realizing that the way I was brought up was maybe not as, normal as in other people's households. But I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, this is my very black New York perspective. Okay. My mother and her family, 100 years in Brooklyn by way of Virginia and South Carolina, right? On my mother's mother's side, right? On the matriarchal side of my mother's family, they came from Virginia and Tennessee. On the patriarchal side of my mother's family, they came from South Carolina, right? I can name them ancestors that came from Virginia, Tennessee, and South Carolina and brought everybody up to New York. I can name them folk. On my father's side of the family, my father is a Jamaican who came up here in the 60s. Okay. Right. Again, my father came up here in the 60s. My father's very, very pro-black. He's always been super pro-black. He's always been about the Rasta and Rasta liberation and Ethiopia and Bama. Like that's who he is. And my mother has always been very, very pro-black. Okay. Every type of African street festival, every type of fair, every type of black book, I had it. Okay. Every type of function, I was there. And my kente cloths, I was taking African dance, all of this stuff, right? So I grew up with a very strong sense of my black self in this country, right? And being very pro-black, very proud of the way I look. Nobody never said nothing crazy about my hair or about my skin or none of that shit, right? So this conversation about is it okay to, people want to make it seem like that if you have black pride and, let me tell you something. Like, I think it was Toni Morrison who said it. She said it best. She said, the function of racism is to distract you, is to confuse you. It is to make you feel like you don't have culture. Somebody say you don't have culture, you spend all this time trying to argue with them that you do. Somebody say that you're ignorant, you try to prove them, right? Again, understand that it's a distraction. So even now, this whole conversation about the Nazi salute and all this shit, they're trying to say, well, it's not that, it's not that, it's not that. Keep calling things, keep saying that, no, that's you're a Nazi. And stop feeling like, oh my God, this person, they're so lost and they know the fuck they doing, okay? And you know what the fuck you doing too. You know what the fuck you doing too. So like I said, liberation starts at home. How free are you going to allow yourself to be these next 4 years and beyond? Okay? These people are going to tell you that your ancestral practices are demonic, that your roots and your crystals and your candles and your ancestor veneration is demonic. Are you going to believe them? Are you going to stop doing what you're doing? Are you going to stop pouring libations? Are you going to stop bigging up your ancestors? Are you going to stop doing all of the things that feel good to you and make sense for you? Are you going to run back to the church because they told you that if you don't, they're going to burn your house down? Listen, I hope nobody don't threaten me in those types of ways because I'm ready to meet fire with fire. I'm ready to meet force with force. That's who I am. That's why I'm at, right? With it, right? Right? If we get into this t-shirt, strong rum and prayers. That's what I'm on for the next 4 years. Strong rum and prayers. You understand? Prayer that you stay the hell away from me and you keep that racist, white supremacist bullshit away from me, so that way I don't have to call on none of my folk to come in and handle the situation, because I would hate that for everybody involved. Truly. Let me mind my black ass business over here and do what the fuck I need to do. I know why I stand on the side of history and liberation. I know where I'm at. I know what I'm prepared to do. What are you prepared to do? And if you think that spirituality and liberation is not connected, again, I don't know why you're here, because we ain't. I don't know what you're doing here. Okay. That being said, I want to talk about some folks who I fucks with. That's what I'm calling this section. Folks I fucks with. Okay. Now this is not an exhaustive list. This is just me freeballing, free at the top, off the top of my head. First things first, Mystic Mommy, right? I've interviewed her. She was in one of the last round of interviews that I did in the fall. She's a great astrologer. She's based up in Canada. She's fantastic. I'm gonna link everybody below. I'm gonna put everybody's links and all that stuff in the description, all that good shit. Mecca the Holy. Mec. I like Mec. She is also the author of Foolish, a great book, right? I feel like get your library cards, folks. Get your library cards. Get your e-readers up. Support your black writers. She wrote a hoodoo fantasy novel. It's a mystery. It's a family mystery. It's a little bit of everything. It's a really good book. She's also a fantastic entrepreneur who has candles and incense, and she's got a writing program that's going on right now. So fuck with Mecca, all right? Gerald of Altered Roots. He's based in the Pacific Northwest. If you're a hoodoo who wants to really get in touch with that land aspect, I feel like Gerald has a great relationship with the land, and he's a very good communicator of how we could work with the land, and how we can honor the indigenous spirits and our ancestral spirits, our African ancestral spirits, and do work that is community minded, but also very, self-empowering. Who else? Gosh, there's so many. Those three I would start with, though. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Those three I would start with. Hold on, let me look at my phone, because now, again, I took notes, but at the same time, it's like it's about more than taking notes, right? There's so much. Oh, Apetembi Iyamile. She's down in Florida. She's an Espiritista and Santera, an Orisha priest of Lukumi. She's based in Florida. She has a lot of talks about Espiritismo. Espiritismo is a practice. It's not necessarily anything that you're initiated to. It's a spiritual practice of, especially people that have a lot of ancestral spirits, a lot of spirit guides. It's a nice way to keep everything in check. If you wanted to learn more about Espiritismo, I feel like she's a great resource. Who else do we have here? We got a lot of folks. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, there's so many people. Ajano, I love Ajano. That's my babes. Ajano's Luxury Decks. She's based in Ghana right now. The Afro Mystic, Daizy, October Latifa, California based. Her family just, God bless it, survived those LA fires. But she's also a great resource for hoodoo and for Black indigeneity and Black history and Black culture. Fuck, we have so many people here. Oh my God, Hoodoo Hussy. If you want to learn more about nutrition and how to take care of your body, like your physical being, while also understanding that we're Black and we come with ancestral knowledge about our food ways and all of that stuff. Again, unpacking and unlearning things like fat phobia, which is an offshoot of white supremacy. Right? We're gonna take it there. So many people. I'm gonna stop there. Oh no. Hakim Pitts, Philly based, another Espiritista, another Lukumi, Orisha practitioner, another Black historian, queer folk, good people, right? Man, we got some good folks. Oh, how could I forget about James Stewart? Again, we're talking about folks that's doing root work, folks that are like doing that old school hoodoo, right? That true hoodoo, folks that's really in the paint, empowering folks, understanding that sometimes you got to be in your house with the lights off and the candle and listen to the dead and all that stuff. This is what I'm saying. I'm naming these people not because I'm trying to force them on you or anything like that, but trying to let's show you that there are many people that's walking in the army of the light, right? As I like to call it, like, and the army of the shadows as well, right? Like, we have to understand that you need both. You need that right hand work and that left hand work to truly bring them together and make some shit happen. You're not gonna love and light your way out of this shit, y'all. You're just not. You're just not. There are gonna be some we all have some vengeful spirits that's ready to fuck some shit up and turn some shit over. Don't allow whiteness and white supremacy to lull you into a sense of complacency and shame you for feeling righteously angry at the things that you're seeing. If you're seeing stuff and you're getting upset, know that your anger has a place. Anger is a righteous emotion. Don't let nobody tell you that there's no, all of that. Again, don't feed into that shit. Because if our ancestors didn't get angry enough to burn some shit down, to sound a drum, to defy by speaking their language, by dancing their songs, by playing their music, by practicing their religions, that was that defiance, that fire that's within them. That's what kept this shit going. Don't you ever think that anger is not a justified emotion. It's okay to feel scared. It's okay to speak up. Damn, I'm starting to get emotional because I'm really like, even if your voice shakes, you should stand up. If you see some shit that's not right, if you see people not being treated fairly, if you feel like, you know what, I had enough of this shit, it's painful. It's okay to say, I don't think that's right. I don't think you should do that. I don't agree with that. If everybody around you is looking, it's okay to be that one. I'm sorry. Sometimes you gotta be that one, and be the light for other people behind you to understand that, yo, the shit that we're seeing and that we're experiencing is not right. It is not right. We do not deserve that. We deserve to be treated as humans and with dignity and respect. We deserve to have a livelihood that we don't have to break our fucking backs for, and that we don't have to sacrifice our firstborn and our morals and our integrity, all that shit, just so we can put food on the table. It's okay to stand up for what's right and say, I don't agree with that. That's not right. It's okay. I want to tell y'all it's okay. And I'm crying because I'm like, bro, I think black people are so beautiful. I just love us. I love black folk. From all over the diaspora. I'm not here to have the diaspora wars with y'all. I'm not. I love black folk. And I love the cultures that we've created in the face of opposition and resistance. But I know that that's not our whole culture, right? I know our culture does not start and end with slavery. We was people before these people came over and decided they wanted to inflict these horrible things to us. And now they're trying to erase our history. They're trying to make it so that we don't talk about black history. They're trying to take history out of schools. They're trying to rewrite the books. They're trying to do all of these things. They're trying to erase us out of the history books. They're trying to say that whatever we experience at the hands of these people, we deserved it. You know that's not true. I know it's not true. So I'm not going to sit here and argue with Nazis and white supremacists. Throat punch them, light a candle on their ass, sick the ancestors on them, use them as target practice. Sharpen your knives. Keep your candles lit. Keep your glasses clean. Keep the libations poured. Put a little food out. Honor the land. Talk to the man at the crossroads. Talk to the man at the woods. Talk to the man at the railroads. You understand? Understand that we have a lot of things available to us. And that the technological revolution is not always about computers. We are the technology. Our ancestors, those traditions that they gave us, that they left behind, those religions that are so intricate and come with all of these binaries and numbers and divinations and all that stuff, that's a technology, babes. That's a revolution as well. Deprogramming from white Christian fascism, colonialism, and reprogramming your mind with your actual, what's in your blood, what speaks to your blood. That's a technological revolution as well. And I hope you start to look at it like that. Whew. All right. This was a lot. I need a cigarette. My name is Nikki Buchanan. I'm the host of the How to Be Magical podcast. I'm the owner of Soul Things Botanica, and you have just listened to Liberation Starts at Home. First episode of 2025. I want all of us to feel empowered, feel brave, feel spicy, feel feisty. A lot of fire that's in your belly, a lot of fire in your root, in your sacral chakra to come out. Don't hold it in. Don't hold back. Don't stifle it. Nurture it. Fan the flames. Because from the ashes, some beautiful things are going to emerge. We are the beautiful things that are emerging from the ashes. So allow the fire to burn away all of the stuff that is not you and that doesn't serve you and that does not glorify you. And truly allow yourself to walk in the light, the true light, not the manufactured light, not the grow light. I'm talking about the true light of the spirit, of the ancestors that already walked in these paths before us. Allow yourself to learn from the wisdom of those folks and allow that revolution to take place in your mind and in your home first. And then when you step out into the world, you'll be able to connect with the other people that are on that same wavelength, because that's what we need right now. We need to come together. But you can't come together if your shit is raggedy. I just want to clean your shit up. Tighten up. Buckle up. It's about to get real. Okay? So, you can find me on Instagram. I'm still on Instagram, Soul Things BK. I'm still on Twitter, but not really. Soul Things. I'm on Blue Sky. I have a new YouTube channel, an old YouTube channel that I'm repurposing just for my personal stuff. I'm going to put the links below for everything. But I kind of want to get off Meta. So, I don't know. We'll see. Oh, I'm on Substack. Subscribe to the Substack. Soul Things on Substack. I like Substack. It's more like a blog, longer form. There's a good community over there. I'm posting more stuff on there. So go support the Substack. And I have some sweatshirts on the website right now. Like, if you want me to bring back this Strong Rum shirt, let me know in the comments and all that stuff, and I could re-add it to the site. It's just a t-shirt, but I got sweatshirts right now, crew neck sweatshirts and hoodies. The Geechee coded line with the praying hands. Shout out to Nick at Night, my good sister friend, Art by Bast, who designed the praying hands with the indigo tip fingers design. I really loved it. Thank you so much. We've been getting a good response on the shirts. A few people have copped already. Cop your shirt. I'm not charging for the podcast. I'm barely selling stuff these days, but support. That's how you can support. And that's it. I hope that this has been informative. And like I said, I know it's all over the place, but I really want everybody to understand that you are capable. You are powerful. You are the manifestation, the walking embodiment of somebody 100 years ago. Couldn't even imagine that you have the freedoms and the liberties that you have today. Do not let that person 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300, 400 years ago, do not let their death be in vain because you want to roll over right now. It's not time to roll over. It's time to stand up. Time to speak up. Time to use the power that you do have. We do have powers. Like I said, make sure them ancestor altars is lit. Make sure you're armed with knowledge of self. Make sure you're armed with the truth of the spirit. All right, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.